Gacha game communities with the most down bad fandoms. That is our subject of discussion in this video. And okay, let's just admit one thing. We are cooked. We are so unfathomably cooked. Like, I'm pretty sure that our sector of society wasn't even considered when people were talking about flying cars 100 years ago, okay? Oh, don't put me in the same category. I play the game just for the gameplay. I play the gameplay just for the story. Brother. The internet finds every possible excuse to goon to every single entity that gets their face onto it. And gacha games are like one of the singularities of those kinds of people. And if you ever tell me that you play Blue Archive for the gameplay, brother, I gotta lobotomize that part of your brain that still has that bit of shame in you, because you are not playing Blue Archive just for the gameplay. I will tell you what, because the gameplay of Blue Archive is so one-dimensional that the only explanation on why it's made that way is because it's being made so that people can play it with one hand. That is the only logical explanation that I can make with Blue Archive. Oh, but what about Genshin Impact, brother? Genshin Impact is the same. You already knew what the devs intended when you first heard Lisa's climbing voice lines. Okay, when you say that you're playing a gacha game for the sake of the gameplay, you are just not. Okay, you're just lying. But given that we are so unfathomably cooked to the point that when somebody instigates your phone about all these gacha games you have, you gotta start every sentence with a hear me out. Which gacha game community is like the absolute worst, to the point that where every single member of the community has to be given an ankle monitor? I'm talking that level, bro. We've already hit rock bottom as a given. Now, who goes to hell? That is what we're going to be discussing in this video. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. And this can only happen by the support of you guys. But with all that being said, let us start the evaluation. Blue Archive. Oh, there is so many things I need to talk about Blue Archive. Okay, first of all, have you guys just like had a single glimpse of what the dev conferences of Nexon are? Brother, these guys are on the same page as y'all, if not way further beyond. These guys know exactly what they're doing. What I mean by that is that these guys all openly pull out their fetishes and openly be like, yo guys, we know our high school anime girls are kind of hot, and we also proudly use them as material. Brother, what? The devs are doing a what? And it gets worse. When we're talking about Blue Archive, we're talking about the game that covered about over like 60% of the Comic-Con at some point. In case you didn't know what a Comic-Con is, it's basically a Comic-Con. It's like a Comic-Con, but it's in Japan, and 90% of the fan content in there is 18+. But the Comic-Con is meant to be for every single type of Japanese media, or every single type of media in general. And Blue Archive single-handedly took over 60% of the fan content being sold there. You know it's absolutely insane when the author of Bocchi the Rock comes over to the Comic-Con selling Blue Archive doujins. Oh, no, it gets worse. Bro, the more I talk about Blue Archive, the worse you find the community to be. Because the Blue Archive community are like the types of people who, like, okay, when you normally see like a hot anime girl, let's just say, like, your reaction would probably be like, yo, Shiroko Terra is low-key kinda, Oh yeah, Hanako, Mika. They're kind of lame, not gonna lie. Now, they don't talk in that kind of language. They talk in a completely different language, and that is, in the current era of time, we refer to that as the crying emoji. Or otherwise, they just straight up cut to the chase. They just go straight to that. I'm like, brother, but sometimes you gotta hold yourself back. Nah, Hoshino, Shupogaki. Holy shit, bro. Watching a Blue Archive play a goon to the character. Okay, no, I do not want to do that. I do not want to watch a Blue Archive character Blue Archive player goon to the characters. Seeing a Blue Archive player is like seeing a guy who's driving an F1 car with no brakes. Okay, let's go back to the crying emoji, because we can't forget the fact that not even Blue Archive, it's literally just one guy that played Blue Archive and got a bit too horny on Twitter. This man pioneered the entire trend of the crying emoji in every single gacha game. Blue Archive is the origin of the emoji spam. The Blue Archive is the reason why gacha game players use more emojis than ChatGPT. Brother, the amount of damage that is done to gacha games in general has to be like a crime of its own, bro. Ankle monitor, straight up. Like, the community might deserve it. You might want to go straight to jail. I'll see if I move this up depending on the rest of the ones in the list. Arknights, Endfield. Look, I had this one theory once upon a time, you know. My theory was that this game was gonna have a 50-50 split between the Gooners and the engineers. Because let's be real here, 90% of the player base are probably engineers, computer scientists, or like at the very least somewhere in STEM. So 50% of the people will be dedicated to gooning, and then the other 50% of the people would be focused on making bad apple or like running Doom in the factories. And I'm pretty sure someone pulled off the bad apple thing. But I was dearly mistaken. I was so insanely mistaken for even having that idea. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, right? I have absolutely no knowledge on the base Arknights. And what I mean by that is that I haven't played the game and I don't know anything about the story. I've seen a few character designs and then I compared it to the ones from Endfield. I honestly, I wonder, like, how are these two games related? How are these two games within the same universe? Because the proportion of characters in Endfield who have their tummy exposed is insane. It's absolutely insane to me. No, it's not only that. Like, when we're talking about the community, we're talking about... I remember this distinctly. It was back when it hasn't even been a week after the official release of Endfield. And people have started posting short videos of characters in modded, outfits. Brother, it's not even been 7 days. Why would you... You're cooked. We're cooked. No, bro, if you find an Arknights Endfield player, you know their hands are fast. You know they got swift hands because they get on the work. They get to the work straight and swift. And the output of what they do is like the embodiment of their like dirtiest desires. And yeah, there was one miscalculation that I didn't think of about like my hypothesis on the community. And that's that you can both be a nerd and a gooner. I'm sorry, I forgot about the fact that you could pull that off, but like, brother, you're a gooner if you play this. You have to be a gooner. You just spend some of the time that Blue Archive players are gooning to optimizing your factory to the maximum efficiency. But it doesn't change the fact that you're a gooner. Genshin Impact. I'm pretty sure this is like the only game that actually made it to mainstream media, and that's why it's... But that's the thing. The problem is that it became too mainstream, right? Like, words reached the FIFA players. The word, like, it got the attention of all like the normie gamers, you know. And that's mostly why like the stereotype of the Genshin players are the PP files or whatever came to be. And in my opinion, like, brother, it ain't that deep. Brother, it ain't that deep. You just hopped on a video game and you got called something online. It's not like you go to jail for it. So I don't give a shit about that. But like, the community felt so goddamn offended by that stereotype. I don't know. The community of Genshin Impact is like probably the one that's having the biggest civil war within the Gooners and the non-Gooners. Let's be real here. Like the non-Gooner side, bro, they're so defensive to the point that I'm starting to think like it low-key sounds like you've just been put in a courtroom. Dog, it ain't that deep. You just got called something online You just got called something online for opening a video game, okay? It's not that deep. And then what? Like the same guys, they've got like a suspicious obsession towards Farina. I don't know what's with Farina and you guys, but like the Genshin Impact community is so specifically into Farina. What like, okay, yeah, I get it. She's like gremlin material, but like, nah, I mean that's the other thing, right? This game's got like the fair share of the cute and funny. This game's got the fair share of older women. And I'm gonna be real with you here. You can't deny that Genshin was meant to be a Guna game. But if you subtract the fact that Hoyoverse has made Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, you still have MiHoYo, the good old MiHoYo, making motherfucking Honkai Impact Third. But if you played a single bit of Honkai Impact Third, you would understand the types of people who have made Genshin Impact. You should have known what Genshin Impact was meant to be from the very day you started hearing Lisa's climbing voice lines. And you're over here being like, no gooning, that's criminal. We only play for the meta and the exploration, brother. At that point, you just have to be like cringe. Like, I don't like calling people cringe normally, but like when it comes to that point, when it gets to that point, I feel like brother, be loyal to what the game tries to offer to you a little bit more. I'm gonna put you in the I play for the story kind of category, because I know for a fact you got them gooners and the goonettes out there, but the amount of people who are against it is like absolutely insane. I'm gonna put you in I play for the story, but just know that you ain't any better than these guys up here, okay? Guardian Tales. This is probably gonna be the least popular game that's gonna be on this list. Maybe apart from Snowbreak. I'm gonna cover Snowbreak later on. Oh my days. But Guardian Tales. First of all, if you play this game, my G, you are automatically my friend, because I'm gonna tell you what, Guardian Tales is like, to play Guardian Tales is to love every single aspect of what a JRPG is, right? It's got the grinding, it's got the gacha, it's got the exploration, the combat, and it's got the characters that's got the big honkadonkers. But how's that different to the other gacha games, you ask? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, the Guardian Tales gameplay is absolute peak. Just like give you like a brief explanation on what it is. It's basically like a 2D top down, like I guess a Zelda like. So like you got the fighting, you got the puzzles, and you got the mazes and everything, you know, you got all the good bits of exploration. But okay, the community. Like I said, you need to love every single aspect of a JRPG to actually enjoy this game. And if you play this game, I know for a fact you are a gooner. You are a gooner here from the bottom of your heart. And even the devs embrace it dearly, bro. The 80% of the characters in that game, 80% of the female characters in that game are equipped with absolute cannons, okay? And then the ones who aren't are probably lollies. But like, bro, AA72, oh my days, bro. AA72 is low-key kind of... Let's get back to the main topic. The thing that Guardian Tales did that I found absolutely absurd is when they tried to release the game on Japan servers. Yeah, no, Guardian Tales, I'm pretty sure started off in Korea. So yeah, it released in Korea, and then it released in the global servers, and then it released in Japan. Yeah, it was like a rare case where Japan was prioritized the least in terms of release. And before they released the game to the Japanese servers, they did a full overhaul on the character's artwork. So they changed the character artwork to cater to the Japanese audience. What they meant by that was that they simplified the details of every single character, and then they also buffed the female characters. But these guys modified every single character so that the homeland of Gooners could welcome the game with open arms. Bro, these guys doubled down on the Gooner bait part and then was like, yo, let's make them bigger for the Japanese audience because that's what they're into. Oh my days. That has to be some insane decision that they made. And, oh, another thing. So there's this one character, I think his name was Kamael or something. He's basically like the god of harvest. And he's like an old granny. Right, he's an old man. Like he's probably like one of the only elderly characters in the entire game. But then the devs of Guardian Tales were like, shit, what if we make a skin that made him a little girl? What if we made a legendary skin that transformed this old man into a lolly? Ha! What, you did a... Holy shit, bro. Holy mother of plot twist. That is what I would call Guardian Tales. That is the only way I would describe this game. Because the type of things that this game does to attract a specific kind of audience is like, oh my days. Oh my days, bro. How'd you get by playing Guardian Tales without being a gooner? Tell me. Answer me this one question. When you're making them grandpuppy characters, little girls, how'd you not avoid this? When you're buffing every single character's assets when you deploy it on the Japan servers, how does one get by playing this game without being called a gooner? No, there's no chance, bro. If you play this game, I'll look at you and I'ma call your ass a gooner. Limbus Company. Now this is like the game. This is basically the game that's known for being the anti-goon. Like people in this game actively and with all genuinity say that they play this game for the story. And you know what? Okay, it's kind of valid. It's kind of valid because the story is good. The story is good. The characters aren't made specifically to be good bait. And like the overall theme is like a really edgy dark thing. Brother, that's the thing about the Limbus Company community. Like, the community is just a bunch of edgelords that pretend that they're like the normal, the tame gacha game players. But I know what's behind that mask. I know exactly what kind of person is behind that mask. And behind that mask is... Bro, you're just into dommy mummies, okay? Well, if you play Limbus Company, you're probably most likely just into dommy mummies. Or you just got into the game because you wanted to see Don Quixote. Like, let's be real here. Don Quixote, as a character, is specifically designed to cater towards autistic people. Like, she's the hook to get those edgy D&D, Warhammer 40k players into the game. And then the dummy mummies are there to keep you there. Like, you can argue against this, but I'm just gonna pull out this one final card before I give you your final verdict. The Korean fanbase of Limbus Company got so angry that a character's swimsuit outfit wasn't revealing enough, to the point that the news got to mainstream media and it got half of the artists in the Project Moon company fired, or it forced them. No, they had no choice but to resign because people got angry that one of the characters didn't have a revealing enough swimsuit. Brother, what? Now, you guys arguably have like a worse fan base than Genshin Impact, and that's like a crazy statement to say. But just because of that one incident, I'ma have to put you above, and you're being put in the Gooner side. You're being put on the Gooner side of things because I know what you are, bro. I know what you are. You want to get mathematically and physically and mentally broken down by Faust. I see you. I see you. Gooner! Nikke! Brother, you know the game that you play is bad when people know it as the arse jiggling game. Brother, you need the ankle monitor. No. Don't even start arguing with me. Your unofficial Reddit subreddit is rated 18 plus. Brother, do you understand how absurd that is? Not even Blue Archives of like main Reddit is not age restricted, but Nikke? No. Every single person in the community, they are unanimously thirsting for the Nikkes. Oh, no. You need the ankle monitor effective immediately. Oh, but the story's dog. Dog, has the story of Resident Evil stopped people from gooning to Lady Demetresque? Have they? Has the lore of Elden Ring stopped people from joking it to Melania? No. You gotta give me a yes or no. You gotta give me a yes or no there, because I'ma tell you what, story ain't no motherfuckers don't account for story when we're talking about whether a community's down bad or not, because it's just not effective. It just isn't. You guys need to be watched. You guys need to be monitored. But I have to give Reddit my mugshot to check your Reddit threads out. Like, when I think it like that, like already, you need an ankle monitor. Holy. Snowbreak containment zone. Jail. No, you're going straight to jail! Oh, what is wrong with you lot? Oh my days. And this goes to say for both the devs and the players, because I don't even need to touch this game to know what kind of people you guys are. Brother, have you just take a look at any one of the videos that the official YouTube channel of Snowbreak Containment Zone posts, and you're gonna start questioning, how is this even allowed to be posted on YouTube? Because this game has to be the most blatantly down bad out of all the other ones on the planet, to the point that it's just sad. Like, in all the other Gacha games, okay, yeah, the character designs are very good and baited or whatever, but like, you can tell the devs pour in some love into being more than a JPEG, like, if you get what I mean. But Snowbreak's method of just blatantly thirst trapping people, it's just so obviously a business model. Like somebody can AI generate a copy of Snowbreak and people will get into it the exact same way. That's how I feel. Now, this game's audience has to be unanimously just a bunch of horny teenagers. Now, okay, look, that's the other thing. Let me go back to the first question. Why are the things that Snowbreak's official YouTube channel is posting allowed to be posted on YouTube in the first place? Because the type of shit that they make can very well be put on High Anime without the I. You know, you can put it on that website. But you chose to put it on YouTube, and you attracted them poor young teenagers and abused their phase of adolescence. Brother, you're containing what? What are you exactly containing? I'm gonna have to contain you in a place. You gotta go to jail. Straight up, no question, effective immediately. Honkai Star Rail. The thing I find about Honkai Star Rail is that their fanbase shitposts a significantly greater amount than Genshin Impact. You know what, fuck it. They shitpost more than like most of the other Gacha games out there. And okay, it makes sense because like Star Rail is like, if I were to describe Honkai Star Rail's story, it's like 90% serious and 10% comedy, where like the 10% comedy hits like really damn hard. So I'd say like 40% of the fanbase are basically shit posters. But now I know for a fact the rest of you are gooners, because brother, I only got to like where I fought Sunday and I started grinding this guy as a weekly boss, I stopped playing. But I know for a fact that the moment Evernight came out, bro, everybody unanimously put their hands together like this and then went, yes, mommy. Like, brother, September 11th, March 8th, whatever the fuck your name is, you can ruin me. And now, also like the glimpse of Blue Archive players, and that's the thing, Star Rail is probably like the second most affected game by the Blue Archive community. Because like, if at any point in the game where there's like a mention of Sparkle or Sparksy, either one of the two, some people just teleport straight from the Blue Archive community and then start spamming the crying emoji. They see a singular glimpse of a Mesugaki being in another video game and they're like, boys, we hit the jackpot, boys. It's time to cook. Another thing about Star Rail, this game probably has the sexiest male characters out of all the other Gacha games. No, I'm not even joking. Nor am I gay. But I'm just gonna say, at the point of the introduction of Aventurine, I deadass went, oh, what is this man who's radiating all this aura? Oh my god. So I know for a fact there's a really good share of goonettes that reside in the community of this game as well. You're a solid option. You're a solid gooner option. I'll give you that. I'll put you above Guardian Tales, but I don't know. I feel like putting Endfield up just from how absurdly fast they were with making mods. I don't know. Now, okay, you're gonna stay at the top of Gooner, but Star Rail, you're a close second. I'll give you that. Umamusume. Now, let me explain one thing just in prior for you. Yeah, 18 plus fan content of Umamusume is banned by the officials. And the reason being is that they don't want to associate the 18 plus content of the Umamusumes to the actual horses. Because the Umamusume characters are they're direct references to actual horses in the horse racing industry. This is so tightly enforced to the point that Yakuzas step in to play. Bro, Umamusume has to be the only game where you can put gacha games and Yakuza in the same sentence. Yeah, the reason why the Yakuza are involved in this is because, well, yeah, Yakuzas, they like everything the good old-fashioned way, and one good old-fashioned method of gambling is horse racing. And that's why these guys are going to be extra keen on shutting down anything that negatively influences their favorite horses. So there comes the question, how does Umamusume go anywhere into this tier list other than tame? Ladies and gentlemen, it is now story time of two specific specimens of the Umamusume community. And mind you, both instances are gonna come from the website called Animan, which is basically like, it's one of the 2chan clones. Think of it as like a Japanese 4chan, but we're gonna be talking about two of the threads, right? Instance A, it was basically a thread talking about one of the characters. I don't really play Umamusume, so I can't really name them, but it was one of them who's canonically meant to be a middle schooler. And trust me bro, you require that context. The thread already starts off with a guy talking about gooning to that character, right? The middle schooler character, yeah? But one of the responses in the threads was okay, let me directly translate this. Okay, are you guys ready? I can smell the school bag from your back. Let me break this sentence down to you. When I say school bag, the direct translation comes from randoseru, which is basically the conventional backpack that primary schoolers use in Japan. And the guy is saying that you can smell it from her back. First of all, how do you know the smell of a primary schooler's bag? And second of all, why are you talking under the assumption that you're smelling a middle schooler's bag? Oh my days. And this is not even the worst one. I'm gonna get to instance B right now. Instance B comes from another thread in the same website, in the same platform, titled "Who Can Whisper the Creepiest Thing to an Umamusume?" or like something along those lines. And one of the responses to that thread was basically telling an Umamusume that their cycle date matches with the Arima competition. Okay, I'm gonna need to explain a little bit more about this, but basically the Arima competition, the Arima Kinen competition, is basically like a yearly big horse racing event in Japan. It's a massive event they do on every final Sunday of the year. So it's a really big event. And it's obviously in the Umamusume game as well, where you replace the actual horses with horse girls running. And this guy's telling one of the Umamusumes that her cycle date matches the date of that event. Oh no! Oh! When you subtract the freedom of expression from a gacha game, they will still create monstrosities of this caliber in the form of words. And not even just words, a singular sentence. Oh, you're absolutely vile. How'd you know? You need to be, bro. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say or do can and will be used against you in court. Now fuck court, bro. You're going straight to jail. You need to get locked up immediately. Oh hell no. But I regret reading through that shit again. Zenless Zone 0. Need I explain? Look, if I were to describe the community of Zenless Zone 0, It's like if you take the most down bad parts of Blue Archive and the most down bad parts of Genshin Impact, or like both of their communities, combine them together and then subtracted by 0, divided by 1, square rooted, and then squared again. The Zenless Zone Zero community is the amalgamation of all human sins. And it's not only because of the physics. It's not only because of like the default physics. The thing about Zenless Zone Zero is that like the game takes cute and funny and then cranks it up to 1,000. As in like they took cute and funny quite literally and then made every single character embody that in some way, shape or form. Yeah, no shit you're gonna get the crying emoji gurus over. No shit you're gonna get the OG Hoyoverse Goonas and Goonettes over. And no shit, if you combine the two poisons together, you would create an evil that was not yet known to man, that mankind never imagined to even have within their realms. And straight up attached should a ankle monitor be. And there you go, that's the tier list for which Gacha game communities are the most down bad. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Again, I'm trying to hit my first 1,000 subscriber by the end of 2026. If you guys help me out on that, I appreciate it. If you guys got to this point in the video, I also appreciate that as well. I'm going to be doing all kinds of content. I'm going to be doing yapper content. I'm going to be doing gamer content. You'll probably sometimes see me on streams as well. But do stay tuned for all of those. And with all that said, it is now goodbye.